Hello, dear souls. We again are so thrilled to drop into the field of connection with you and just acknowledge the magnificence that you are and send you gratitude for allowing us literally to sit at your feet in adoration. Because you may not understand yet how powerful and magnificent you are. But we see it, and that is what we wish to talk to you about today. You are living the challenge. You have made the decision to be in this third density, which is very difficult, to go through what you call karmic cycles, where you had experiences that imprinted you negatively, horribly in some lives, and yet you showed up to do more, to raise the vibration and expand all that creation is. You do not understand how brave you are, but we see it in you. And not just the joy of connecting, but the awe and magnificence of connecting with you. You may think, oh, you're spirit, you're beyond the veil, you've got all this big stuff and the mystery, the man behind the curtain, or what it's like to be ethereal, or some people even call it godlike or angelic-like. And yes, we have those things, but we do not yet have the adventure, that certainty and confidence that you had when you decided to come to this planet. So we hold you in awe. We hold you in esteem. And this is what we wish to speak to you about today, is because many people are finding they're at the cusp of becoming something different and are choosing not to take the step into the light to become magnificent. You see it all around you, I'm sure. Those of you who are aware are noticing people that are diminishing themselves. But in your own life, this can be very, very challenging. We spoke recently of how your story creates your being. And we will have the channel Peter put a link below in this video delivery system so you can follow up on that. But what we'd like to say is that telling the new story is not in itself sufficient. You must tell the story, then take the action to become that story. The word that the channel Peter was taught was be a warrior. And that triggers so much in so many people. Oh, it's violent and stuff. Well, sometimes you have to do what is necessary. And that is the definition of being a warrior or a hero, is doing what is necessary in the moment, whatever it takes to achieve your goal. Do you have that kind of resolve to become your magnificent self? Of course, it's scary. Of course, it means taking a leap of faith. We know you have that in you because you took that leap to come to the planet. Now we're saying express it even in the density of 3D, even when you don't remember that you made that choice. Express it and embody it. Let us give you a practical example. Many of you know you're in a situation you need to move out of. Some of you quite physically know you're in a situation where you would benefit from moving somewhere else, so you won't be around the people that are triggering you or stuck in that dense entity. And many of you are aware of this and yet will not make that move because I don't have the money, right? Your deference to monetary reality decides your other realities. Now, of course, on a 3D level, that's a very real and practical concern, and we can't tell you to ignore that. You must make the choices that are right for you. But faith is not necessary, is not created. Faith is not embodied when you already have the solution in your hand. Faith is when you step into the unknown and say, I'm going to be all right. The money will come. Or you may even break out of the monetary system and say, I will have a place to live, and it won't be something that's rent due or money due. That's a possibility. Many people live many places without paying for it. But your story may not be big enough to encompass that yet. And then when you do have the idea that I'm going to tell a better story, you come up with this fear. How am I going to pay for it? How can I do this? And we can't tell you to step beyond your limits. No, you must always be where you're at. But if you want to be more than what you are in the moment, then you must step beyond what you see as your limitation. Now, if you think about the whole financial system, many people call it a debt slavery system, and there's much truth to that description. Okay? But that's not all money is. Money is a beautiful energy and spirit of creativity, which in some ways those who want to control us have used to diminish. But if you step outside of what the system of money is and step into the idea, the timeline, the beingness that you are indeed an expression, an embodiment of God. You are that child of God incarnate in real life. And so all this is yours. All this is your birthright. Many cultures and traditions understand that. They looked at it as a mental disease when people would talk to them about ownership. And of course, what did the mentally ill people do when they talked about ownership of land? They shot and killed and diseased and penned up in reservations many of the people who had this awareness, because it was such an anathema to their darkness and their control agenda. And so now we think it's normal. And then, of course, we're afraid, oh my God, I'll be penned up and diseased and shot if I do not follow this system. This is the time of liberation for the planet, and that has to come on many levels. If you want to be the liberator, it's not just being the liberated. The liberated still sends your power away. It's still waiting for somebody else to claim your power to help you. That still puts you on the victim side of things, not on the God creator side of things that you are. If you want to be the liberator, then you have to take that step. Be the resistance. There's many, many movies you can watch about people who took the actions for what they believe about standing up to resistance. The Channel Peter is sitting there laughing because he's thinking about the Star Wars epic, which is all about the resistance and standing up. Now, it's not meaning go out and grab a gun and fight. No, we're not saying that at all. But we are saying, what are you doing in your life to set your sovereign authority and actually doing, not thinking, but claiming it? And that means sometimes taking these leaps of faith. It means sometimes stepping out into the unknown. And guess what? You will be fine, because you are fine, because you're an immortal soul. I think the Channel Peter has a story that changed his life, and we're going to ask him to share that now because it was so profound. You see, he got sober in Alcoholics Anonymous when he hit his bottom. That's how they describe it there. You hit your bottom. And of course, when you're at your bottom, things are broken. That's the best time for change. And so it was a good time for change for him. And he was kind of trapped. No money to pay the rent, living in an apartment with really no furniture, wondering how he was going to get food at the end of the month. All this stuff was going down. And he knew it was time to get help. So he started a 12-step program. And he runs into a friend one day who's in the program. And the friend asked him how he was doing. And he told him how all the terrible things were just lined up in his life. And the friend looked at him and said, Peter, I would give anything to be in your place. And Peter told him, you're so full of it. You're married, you have a wife, you have 4 kids, you have a boat, you're the manager of all these businesses, you live in a big house, you've got all these wonderful things. And he says, Peter, those are all responsibilities I have. Those are all things I have to take care of. You're free. You can fall on your face as many times as it takes till you find what is right for you. And Peter was confused by this. And he told his friend he was confused by this. And his friend immediately understood the problem and said, "What's the matter? Don't you believe God's going to take care of you?" And that indeed was the crux of it all. Do you believe you are taken care of, that you are a child of God? Not that God will do these things for you, but because you choose to exert your godliness, your imbued qualities, because you choose to assert them and be your own liberator, then everything coalesces around you in ways that support you, because that's the vibration you hold. That's the flow you are in of being supported. You are then allowing. Allowing means you have to give. Allowing means you have to receive what is given to you. It's not enough to sit there and say, "Where is this? Where is this? How come I don't have this? How come I don't have this?" Without you actually taking it when it's offered to you. Otherwise, you'll just have more grist for the mill to continue telling the story about poor me. You see, what we are asking you to do is to become your courage, to demonstrate it in whatever act it is, big or small, whether it is a movement of your space, whatever act it is you choose to start doing the unknown, courageous response and see how it makes you feel. Now, of course, it's going to trigger all your fears. Of course it will, because that's the nature of stepping outside the box. But when your fears are triggered, we've been telling you all along, it's a mirror to show you, oh, good, these are more resistances that have been holding me back. Now I know what they are. Now I can clear them and be even more free. And that's what we've been telling you all along when we say clear, clear, clear. Take these actions. Assert that you are indeed awesome, because you know it by doing it. And you don't have to do it without fear. If you did it without fear, it would not be a triumph of initiation. You do it in spite of the fear, because the fear is still there, because that's the programming that you've been carrying. But you do it knowing that you can clear that fear and there's no energetic power over you. You see, this is the big decision you have to make. You have to decide, who are you? Are you your thoughts? Oh, I thought this, so it's got to be my reality. Are you your emotions? Oh, I'm scared now, so that's my reality. I'm a scaredy cat. Or are you something more? Are you the consciousness observing this? Are you the peace of God that is focusing on this fractal and this 3D reality? And if you are that expansive consciousness, then you can say, oh, I have this fear. I have this thought, and I'm choosing to make this action. You do it with all that resistance anyway. And then you see that that resistance was just your teacher. And you can actually choose to tell the story of, oh, goody, my teacher showed up again. And now I've got something new I can clear, and I'll be even more free. You can watch if those around you spiral downward. You've seen it. The channel Peter's so sad. He's seen so many people who knew what they had to do and would say, oh, yeah, this is what I need to do, and then turn around and not do it, and then watch their life get increasingly condensed and compressed and sad. And then they talk about depression and how they want to die. And you can go down that road. It's all valid. It's all learning. It's all in the scheme of your soul. You can. But you did not show up on this planet to go down that road. No, we know, because we can speak with your greater spirit. We know you showed up on this planet to demonstrate the magnificence that you are. And we know that the challenges, as great as you may think they are, and as impossible as solutions may seem to you, we know that you knew, and you have deep within you the knowing that you can transcend that. And you simply presented yourself with the challenge so you can show that to yourself. This is not being done to you. This is you claiming your initiation, you having set up these tests of your initiation to say, yes, I have passed this test, and now look at me soar. I know that may not be a message that many of you want to hear, especially if you're in the poor me place. What? Poor me, and I got to do something about it? You have so much help if you let it in. But if you're waiting for the pain and the fear and the mental resistance to go away before you take your action, good luck. You'll stay in this cycle as long as it takes you to figure the new way out, which is, oh, I am not that pain. I am not that fear. I am not that mental pattern. I am something more, and I can choose to act in the world even though I have those characteristics and I am aware of those within my field. And then, if you choose to, and we encourage this, take the next step. Oh, that was my teacher. That was my lesson. I see what that was. And I am now free from it. That's what we mean by clearing. See it, feel it, let it flow through you. When it is done, replace it with something auspicious. Simply say, Spirit, I don't even know. My own limited mind might just come up with something only so much better. You know everything that's out in the field because you're in the field. Give me something really auspicious here. And then allow it. And then act like you have it. It's not just the keys to the kingdom that is being handed to you. You are the king. You are the queen. Start to walk regally through your life. We hope we've inspired you. And we know that some of you, this may be a lot to bear. And we have so much more respect and awe for you that you even choose to listen, because that means you are ready. At some level, it's processing and percolating through you. And we know you're going to take that spectacular step into claiming your sovereignty and your awesomeness. And we know that that is how the planet will be liberated, not from someone else coming in, but from you stepping out. Many blessings to you. Hi, this is Peter D. Thank you so much for your support. We're all doing our best to help humanity ascend. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel so YouTube will place these messages where more people can see them. And of course, you can always check the links below if you'd like to book a channeled spiritual coaching session or make a donation. Much appreciation.